Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A law enforcement official says the Florida airport gunman told the FBI in November that the government was controlling his mind and was forcing him to watch Islamic State group videos. The official was not authorized to discuss an ongoing investigation by name and spoke Friday on condition of anonymity. The official says agents in Anchorage completed their interview with 26-year-old Esteban Santiago and called the police, who took him for a mental health evaluation. The FBI's Anchorage field office said in a statement that it was aware Santiago was an Anchorage resident and that it was assisting in the investigation, but it declined to comment further. Santiago is accused of opening fire in a baggage claim area at the airport. 5 people were killed and 8 wounded. Chief of Police at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport told the Associated Press that Santiago flew out of Anchorage, Alaska, on a 9:52 p.m. Delta flight Thursday, and that a firearm was his only piece of checked luggage. He says Santiago flew from Anchorage to Minneapolis-St. Paul and on to Fort Lauderdale. Davis said Santiago didn't call attention to himself and as far as we can tell traveled alone, but he said the investigation is ongoing. Authorities are trying to track Santiago's movements through Alaska's largest commercial airport using video footage. Meanwhile, a military spokeswoman says the suspect received a general discharge from the Alaska Army National Guard last year for unsatisfactory performance. Lieutenant Colonel Candice Olmsted did not release details about Santiago's discharge in August 2016. Olmsted said that he joined the Guard in November 2014. Puerto Rico National Guard spokesman Major Paul Darlin said that Santiago was deployed to Iraq in 2010 and spent a year there with the 130th Engineer Battalion, the 1013th Engineer Company out of Aguadilla. Olmsted also said that Santiago had served in the Army Reserves prior to joining the Alaska Army National Guard. 5 people are dead, and 8 injured people were transported to hospitals in the shooting at Fort Lauderdale Airport, Broward County Mayor Barbara Sharif told CNN. The gunman is in custody and was a lone shooter, Sharif said. We have no evidence at this time that he was acting with anyone else. He is currently in custody and we're investigating, Sharif said. Investigators are looking into the suspect's motive, she said. Senator Bill Nelson of Florida said that the gunman was carrying a military ID that identified him as Esteban Santiago, but that it was unclear whether the ID was his. Santiago's brother said the suspect had been receiving psychological treatment while living in Alaska. Brian Santiago tells the Associated Press that his family got a call in recent months from 26-year-old Esteban Santiago's girlfriend alerting them to the situation. Brian Santiago said he didn't know what his brother was being treated for and that they never talked about it over the phone. He said Esteban Santiago was born in New Jersey but moved to the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico when he was 2 years old. He said Esteban Santiago grew up in the southern coastal town of Panuelos and served with the island's National Guard for a couple of years. He was deployed to Iraq in 2010 and spent a year there with the 130th Engineer Battalion, the 1013th Engineer Company out of Aguadilla, according to Puerto Rico National Guard spokesman Major Paul Darlin. The gunman had a gun checked in his baggage and had declared the firearm, law enforcement sources told CNN. The suspect flew to Florida from Alaska, via Canada, the sources said. When he arrived in Florida and retrieved his bag at baggage claim, he took out the gun and started firing, the sources said. One source said he went to the bathroom to get the gun out of his luggage and emerged firing. Gene Messina had just arrived in Fort Lauderdale on Delta Flight 2012 as people were being evacuated from the terminal. I got off the plane and I saw people running and screaming. At first I was in shock, but when I saw TSA agents running, I booked, Messina told CNN over Instagram. In November 2016, nearly 2.5 million travelers passed through Fort Lauderdale's airport, according to a government report on the facility.